Hey guys, this is Nick Paris here coming at you from Ape Gaming. I just want to give a quick deck profile. I went to a locals here in Atlanta, and I'm here for the hurricane evac. So I got to get my Yu-Gi-Oh in, even though there's a hurricane coming to kill everyone. But yeah, I played a very unique deck that I created. It's an invoke deck, obviously, but it's an invoked Burning Abyss deck. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would you play some weird shit like this? I promise you it's really good and it works. And I'll even show you one of the plays that I can make with it. All right. So for starters, into the deck profile, we'll do the monsters. There's a lot of monsters. 3 Alistair. Gotta have 3. I don't run a lot of the field spell to search him, so if you get him, it's good. If you don't have him and you get the spell invocation, it's still just as good. All right. Then we run 3 Hydrolander. This guy's really good just because he allows you to interact with your opponent. The more monsters that you have that interact in your opponent's turn, the better. So he's really good for interactions on your opponent's turn, and you want to run 3 of them. He's really big beat stick too. He's got 3k attack, so having him is very effective. 3 of Malicious. There's a lot of things you can do to pitch, especially with the XYZ monsters. XYZ, the Link monsters. So using this is really beneficial for making your bigger Link monsters. If you mill him, it's great. You don't normally start with him, but even if you do start with him in hand, you can always just pitch him with the Link monster. All right, a couple one-ups. He was kind of an ad. I was looking for one spot. I needed something just to put in, and I was really looking for a light monster. I tried quite a few different monsters, and I ended up going with Trick Clown just because I was able to get a little bit extra advantage. If I invoked with him in hand, invocation with him in hand to make Mechaba, he would just come back to the field, and I could look at doing some rank 4 plays or something. Either way, it was just extra fodder for me to link with or make an extra play with, so I put him in. The 1 Snow, 3 Star Beast, because you run a bunch of monsters. Star Beast normally gets in. You rarely are going to mill a spell, so this card's almost always live, and it helps you when you got like a hand with non-Burning Abyss monsters, Phoenix Rhino, whatever. You usually want to use these first. It also gets you a little bit extra burn damage. Making Dante first is always going to be your main play. 1 of Tour Guide, Trips Rhino, MVP. 1 of Seer, so now going to the Burning Abysses. 1 of Scarm, 1 Cowcab, 1 of the Effect Negation, and 1 of Rubik. So I don't use him for a tuner. I literally just put him in here because he's another Burning Abyss monster that's not the same name as a different Burning Abyss monster for what's it called? Hydrolander. So because he's not the same name, you don't want to have too many monsters the same name. For Hydrolander's effect to go off. So he's just another target to make Dante, and that's it. Back row bouncing, effect negation. 3 Scarm, 3 Farfa. I played 2 Libic. 2 Libic just because, 1, you need targets to make Dante. 2, because Libic's effect is pretty useful at times if you get it off when you need to get it off. I also played 2 Barbar, strongest Burning Abyss monster, and also the burning effect's really good. This actually won me a game because I had 2 of them. I was playing against Goki that game. Alright, going into the spells, like I said, I only run 2 field spell, no terraformings or anything. I know the Burning Abyss monsters say that you can't special summon if you control a spell, so I'll explain that later. 2 invocations. Starting with this is still good because we go into Invoker if we need to, so invocation's really good. 1 of Monster Born, 1 of Soul Charge, 1 of Foolish. Play extenders. And lastly, 1 Upstart Goblin, make it a smaller deck. Alright, so before I go into discussing some plays, I'm going to go ahead and show you my extra deck and side deck. So we'll do the extra deck first. Only run 2 Dante, pretty standard. 1 Beatrice. Some fusions, we got 2 Mechaba. 1 of the Earth Guy in case you need to make send Phoenix Rhino to graveyard, or you just need to make a bigger monster. This actually helped me OTK somebody quite a few times. One Caliga. Normally, I only make Caliga just because he's the dark one, and like every monster in my deck is almost always dark. So if I'm needing to put a monster on board, just so I can link it off, Caliga's a really good monster for that. I know it sounds kind of weird, oh, you're gonna have to fusion to make a monster to link off. I know it's weird, but it comes in handy for the clutch plays. One of Pimp Dante, one Elysium. This card's really cool. Now this is prior Super Poly, so I have a really unique combo with this where you can end with the Invoker Link monster and Elysium if you need to. So if you have like a really bad hand, I guess you could say, it's not the best hand, you could just make Invoker and Elysium, and it's not terrible. I never made the play, but in theory it was there. Alright, so some Link monsters. One of Saryuja. Usually you want to end your board with him, buffing up your Beatrice and your Mechaba. One of Equimax. He's only here because he's a light target. That's it. That's the only reason he's here. Sometimes I made him because he's beefy as hell, and I can make him like a 6k beater, but not normally. One of Removal. Goblin. Unfortunately, he's banned now, so I'm going to have to replace him. I'm not sure what for yet. I may just go into Mermaid and I might put in what's her name, Ibli, in my deck, but I'm not sure yet. But I used him in the tournament, and he's really good just because of the discard effect. So on first turn, you can still discard, even though you won't have a target to point to. You can discard Malicious or whatever you need in the grave. One of Invoker. Again, he's good for discarding, but it's a little bit harder to get the discard off with him. But again, he's got the 2 arrows pointing down, so that's really good. And then just for the arrows and a light target, I'm taking him out. I don't know what I'm going to put in for him yet, but he's coming out. He's not an effect monster, so that hurts going into some monsters. Like, for example, Equimax says 2+ effect monsters, including a Link monster. He's not an effect monster, so I can't use him to make Equimax. But that's just an example. So he's going to come out for something. I'm not sure yet. Maybe, no, I don't know. Alright, going to side deck. Only had 2 Ash. I just bought my 3rd Ash. I'm waiting for it, so I will eventually put a 3rd Ash in here, but right now I only have 2. 3 Ogre. 3 Twin Twister, and 1 Cosmic Cyclone. That was for True Draco. I didn't see any True Draco. Probably why I did so well in this event, but because True Draco is definitely one of my harder matchups. But yeah, that was for the True Draco matchup. Trips and Permanence. This card came in handy a lot. And 3 Evenly Match. That was also really, really good. So that's it as far as the deck profile. I'm going to go ahead and do a practice hand here, a mock hand, and just show you, or you know what, I'll just pull out some cards and I'll show you pretty much what I can do with a couple starting hands. So it's not a short card combo, it's almost a five hand card combo. So I'll show you what I can do with Magical Meltdown. We'll add 2 random Burning Abyss monsters. We'll say Scarm's one of them. No, we won't. We'll put Phoenix Rhino in here. And let's see. We'll put Foolish Burial. Now, I know this is what I guess would be a more broken hand. You're more likely to get better mills and stuff. But for the purpose of this, I will need to shuffle the deck because, again, this has got milling involved. So I don't want to just pick cards to mill that aren't supposed to be there. So we're just going to go ahead and do a quick little... Alright, so when it comes to Magical Meltdown, obviously you're going to want to use your Burning Abyss monsters first. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to use your monsters, special summon them, and you're going to go into your Dante. Now, you don't use Dante's effect yet. First you're going to use your Meltdown. So you use Meltdown. And with Meltdown, you're going to get your Invoker. And at this point, you can go ahead and normal summon the Invoker. Invoker's effect goes off, you'll get Invocation. So now you've got Foolish, Invocation, Venus Rhino. Alright, at this point, you're going to go ahead and use Dante's effect. Detach, we'll mill 3. So now we already got our Malicious Engrave. Alright, so now we're going to link. So we'll link these two to a link for a link 2. Which we're probably going to go into Invoker. So it'll be Dante. It's going to target one. It really doesn't matter. Usually I like to look for ones that could potentially be doubles. But in this case, I'm just going to grab Barbar. This is just your target to pitch for Dante. That's it. Now we're going to go ahead and use Invocation. And we're going to banish. And we're going to banish. We're going to send. We'll send him. So to make the Earth. Remember I was talking about you need to send to make the Earth guy. So now we'll get Phoenix Rhino's effect off. Rhino's effect is going to send. It really doesn't matter. You could thin out your deck and send Scarm, and then send Graph, and Graph's effect would be to send Seer. We are going to do that just because I like to thin out my deck. So we'll send Graph. Graph's effect's going to send Seer. Seer will die immediately. Seer's effect's going to target the Dante. Dante's going to special. So we'll just put him here. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and use Invocation's effect. That'll go back into the deck. He'll go in the hand. We're going to banish the Malicious. Special summoning another Malicious from deck. So, and we're just going to do that again here in a minute. We're going to send these two guys to grave. And we're going to make Equimax, where we will banish again. Special summon. Malicious. So these two guys to grave. We're gonna make yugioh. Alright, and then we're gonna pitch for Beatrice. And that'll bump him up. Now we have a couple of different options here that if we wanted to do. So we could Foolish Burial and send something like Scarm or something to set up for our next play if we wanted to. We could send, I guess Foolish Burial. You could send Trick Line if we want to. It doesn't matter. I would probably just go ahead and Foolish. I got the Foolish just to send the Malicious in case we didn't mill him, but we ended up milling him, so that was good. But this is going to be your end phase, and we're going to send Scarm. Now, I know that he's really just there to help set up plays. You could, normally with the board you want to end is you want to end with Mechaba. This is kind of a worse hand to show you what it would be. But going into your opponent's turn, so on their standby, you would just use her effect, send Snow. Dante effect would activate, you would add the Seer. So this is your opponent's standby phase now. What you want to have, again, is you want to have, this would be Mechaba, and you would have Beatrice and Yugioh. I just picked a random 5 cards and went with the mill, so it is kind of luck based with the deck, but it plays really well around hand traps. The only thing that really hurts, I guess, Ash and Droll, but even then, like, you can still make quite a few plays. You can still end with Beatrice. Beatrice alone is still really good. Snow is really good. Snow by herself won me the game. So what my opponent did I was playing against this one Goki player. Is he monster borned my snow. I had 7 targets in grave. I went first. I didn't have a really good hand, so I had ended with this guy and Beatrice, and he on his turn 1, he went to monster born my snow to try and bait it. I let him have it, but he eventually needed to get rid of the snow to link off, and I, instead of banishing special summon snow on my field, I just waited for him to link it off, and once he linked it off, I then specialed the snow on his additional normal summon with Goblin, and that just stopped him there, and from there I was just able to clear his board. So yeah, I mean, the deck's pretty good. I don't really have anything, like I said, other than the couple things I would change. The worst matchups I have are against True Draco. I think that's pretty much it. I haven't tested a lot against Altergeist, but I know against Pure Sky Striker and Goki, the deck is pretty good. Again, this is all before the ban list. I'm definitely going to put a Super Poly in here for sure. That's going to be awesome. Setting a Super Poly, ending turn, and then just sending him off to make this guy, Elysium. So, yeah. And that's it for the deck profile. If you have any more questions or anything about the deck or any ideas that you might want to add into the deck, let me know. I'm more than willing to talk about it. I love this deck. I have another deck that if you guys want to see, it's a Gamma Seal Invoked Lockdown deck, and it's pretty nasty. I usually end with Gamma Seal with the field spell with at least 4 counters on it, a Beast, and a Mechaba. So it's pretty cool. It's shenanigans. If you want to see some more shenanigan decks, let me know. That's pretty much it. Again, I just want to thank Team Ape for supporting me, and yeah, that's it. All right, bye guys.